We think reality is what's visible to the human eye, but there's another side of our reality that no human eye has grasped yet. There are strange things that happen on this planet that we don't see, but luckily, trail cams can capture the unseen. Join us as we go through some of the most spine-chilling trail cam footage that will leave you speechless. The wildlife is mesmerizing. It leaves us in awe sometimes of how these creatures got each other back. But there's a dark side to it as well. While these animals share an unbreakable bond, they can get terrifying once angered. In our first clip, we have a fine day and a clear sky. But wait a minute, there's something else as well. We see two bald eagles locked in each other's claws. Their clear white heads, dark brown orbs, and feathery bodies all display one thing: enmity. They are high in the sky, claws interlocked, their wings beating menacingly as they both try to dominate each other. The eagles spin fiercely and take a sharp dive toward the ground. Their screeches could be heard from a mile away as the fight became more severe. With another spin, the eagles break apart. One lands on the ground whereas the other skids away. Not even a minute has passed when the eagle is again attacked while on the ground. It pushes the other way with all its might, and the battle finally ends. Next, we have another bald eagle peacefully seated on top of a tree. Its eyes are everywhere as it searches for its next prey. Within a second, the eagle lunges toward the river and catches a fish with its claws. It's bewildering to see how gracefully the eagle spawned his wings as it dived towards its next meal of the day with the speed of light, and before you know it, the eagle has the fish clenched in its jaws and heading back for the sky. Here, take a moment to appreciate this astounding catch. Next, we have a mother and her calf chilling by what looks like a pole. They both are relaxed and casually licking the pole, but suddenly something catches the mother off guard and her eyes run over the entire place. It's confusing at first, but soon we see a wolf emerging from behind the trees. He's aiming for the baby calf, but the mother is determined not to let any harm happen to her baby. She guards the baby with her all, and as the wolf lunges forward, we can see her kicking it away with her back leg. But the fierce kick also knocks the baby down. The mother instantly turns to help her baby back to her feet. Another wolf appears from the front, and the fight commences again. We can't see what happens next because all four of the animals disappear from the camera. Before you jump to conclusions about what happened next, see how the wolves walk back to the woods after a few minutes. It's highly uncharacteristic of them to leave a fresh hunt alone. We bet you've heard about portals in sci-fi movies. The portals are often portrayed as gateways to a different universe. They can assume different shapes, for example, a black hole or simply a mystic doorway, which is, we believe, what you're going to see in this footage. It's believed that these portals enable access to or transit through space and time. Some ideas contend that such portals may lead to different realities of our world or may even be genuine. Depending on who you ask, there's currently no scientific evidence to substantiate the existence of gateways to alternate realms. These are thought to be nothing but man-made fantasies. However, this clip compels us to think the opposite. This footage comes from a small family in Noonian, Georgia, living a normal life until one night their camera caught a portal appearing in their backyard. This happened not just once, but twice. The family didn't have any explanation as to what happened, but they were certain there was something off about the house. Their son had been paranoid for a few weeks and refused to sleep in his own room, and instead slept in their living room, and their niece, who had come for a stay, also claimed to have seen a man with red eyes in the house. The story didn't end there. They kept on experiencing strange noises, and it felt like there was always somebody in the house. Sometimes a baby crying, sometimes glasses clinking. It felt like an entire family was living there with them. Even stranger was when the father's glasses disappeared from the study but mysteriously appeared 2 years later. Despite all these weird happenings, they didn't move out, yet the quarrels between the parents became more frequent, and there was hardly any time when the mood around the house wasn't tense. They finally shifted to another town in 2019. In this footage, we are in northern Canada, where this huge group of wolves is searching for their next meal of the day. The wolves are marching in large numbers toward their prey. Zoom out a bit, and you'll see what this pack of wolves is after. Separated by a lane of thin trees, there's a herd of bison ready to be attacked at any moment. The wolves, which are known to be the best in Canada, encircle the area and take their shot. Unlike wolves, Bison don't separate from one another. Instead, they come closer since they know as long as they can fight as a single force, they'll make it out alive. As the wolves attack, the bison start running in the same direction, but while running away, one bison trips over the other, causing it to fall and fall prey to the hungry pack of wolves. If you look closely, it almost looks as if the other bison did it on purpose just so the wolf's attention could be diverted while he and the others could escape. But that's far away from reality. Bison are herd animals and are always focused on escaping the predator together as a herd. It's highly uncharacteristic of an animal growing up in the herd to cause a fellow animal to fall intentionally. Real Gindin, a young boy living in America, is extremely lucky to be alive and healthy today. A few months back, Gindin was on what was supposed to be a fun camping trip with his parents, but it ended up as the most tragic experience of his life. After setting up the camp, Real's parents planned to set out in the ocean to catch some fish for dinner. They insisted on Real going with them, but he wanted to stay back on the shore. The parents agreed and got on the ship as Real watched them fade away. For a few minutes, it was one of the most adorable moments of their lives as the parents would look back and wave at their son, who was cheering for them from the shore. But soon, misfortune took over, and within a second, Real saw his parents drowning in the deep water. The young lad was losing his parents, and he was left alone on this wild side. He attempted to trek up the mountain and seek help, but soon, darkness fell, and he had no other option but to walk back to the campsite and sleep. The temperature fell below zero, and poor Real was all cuddled up in the snow without any blankets. He tried keeping himself warm by hugging himself, but soon, hypothermia kicked in, and Real was left shivering helplessly on the ground. In the middle of the night, he felt something warm and fuzzy snuggle beside him. By that time, Real was too deep in sleep to look back to what it was. The next morning, the boy was rescued by a group of men who found him cuddled with a beaver. That night, the temperature had dropped below 0 degrees, and if it were not for the beaver to provide him warmth, the young boy would have frozen to death.